Saturday is here, baby. The West Virginia Mountaineers are on the road in enemy territory, and I've got some questions about the Mountaineers.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, baby. We're talking about the Mountaineers again today on the football side of things as we head into enemy territory to face the Kansas Jayhawks. It's going to be an interesting game today, absolutely. As some games have already kicked off, we definitely don't want to keep you long today. Just something fun before the game kicks off, some questions that I have and want to get out loud onto the airwaves. This episode is going to be brought to you by Mazda. When it comes to Mazda, like our players, we sweat every detail. And because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward with Mazda. Move and be moved. I'm not doing it alone, of course. I have brought the one, the only, the legendary, the amazing, not imaginary Jackson Johnson to join the show and talk a little Mountaineers and college football with me.
How you doing today, good buddy, on this fine Saturday?
Yep. Doing good, man. Mazda.
Man, that's the car for Black Friday, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not even nowhere near yet.
Yep. All right, so what we're going to be talking about on today's episode is big questions for today. I got some questions, man. I want to know some things. And we're going to toss those things out into the ether and see what comes back. We're going to look around college football, other games. Some games have kicked off. We'll definitely talk about those, give some predictions, and use Jackson's big brain when it comes to that. So I'm going to bring up a couple questions. You just give whatever thoughts you have on this. And I'm just going to take off running on this. Okay, Jackson?
All right, man.
So I think the number one question I have, I was thinking about it today. What's the only road game West Virginia's played?
Well, obviously they've played at Ohio.
Correct.
So that
and what happened to that game?
That was
we laid an egg, right? A huge egg in that game. So it gives you a little cause to pause. And I didn't even consider that whenever I was wondering, why does Vegas have the spread so big? It's almost 2 touchdowns. That's huge for 2-2-1 teams. It's not like Kansas is ranked top 10. You know, like they're not top 20. They're not even ranked. Maybe they should be. I mean, I think they're probably capable of being, but would I say that they're a whole lot better than Pitt? No, not yet. So, I look at this and think, what in the hell's going on here? Because Vegas knows something I don't know, and I'm trying to think of all these different things. Like, obviously, we've said it a billion times this week. We get it. We're coming off an emotional week. We get it. We're coming off a rivalry win. We get it. Well, that's a horrible spot when the other team's coming off a bye week, Jackson.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it. Kansas had plenty of rest. They're watching film of West Virginia while they're playing Pitt. So Kansas knows what they're going to do, what they're not going to do. Right. And the fact is, West Virginia, before they played Pitt, like as you mentioned, they lost Ohio. Ohio caught them napping a little bit. But I don't think West Virginia's going to be celebrating too much. They're all done with the celebrating part this week. Right. But Kansas, I've got a feeling that the Vegas odds makers know a little bit of something about that Kansas offense.
Maybe.
That offense has me nervous.
Yeah, it does me too. I mean, I can't lie, but their offensive line hasn't graded good. And our defense has been great, Jackson. I mean, we've gotten to the quarterback more than anybody in the Big 12, top 3 in the country in sacks. And you had an elite All-American type player on your defense in Jamoy Robinson. Maybe I'm too close to the situation to see any further out, because when I look at this objectively, both offensive lines are struggling at times. Obviously, you give the quarterback edge to Kansas. There's no doubt. I would love if you had Jalen Daniels in West Virginia. You're talking about a Big 12 contender, I think. Um, but Kansas has him, so you have to give the edge to them there. I give the coaching edge to Rich Rodriguez, although Lance Leopold has proven to be really good. I give the defensive edge to West Virginia. I mean, West Virginia has given up 12.3 points per game. They give up 24 points to Pitt, who is a really talented offense, in overtime, and sacked the quarterback 6 times. I don't know. I just think that, there's a lot that could go wrong for West Virginia today. Sure. Teams cover the spread every week, big spreads. But I'm not going to lie and say that I'm not worried about. And then, like I said, I'm adding into, obviously, we talked about the rest factor that Kansas has. We talked about the emotionality of the West Virginia win over Pitt. And then you couple in that with the fact that the Ohio road game atmosphere was a little too much from the first time. But, hopefully they learn something about being on the road together, because it really wasn't the defense that didn't play well versus Ohio. It was the offense. And we're really hoping they figured something out, because the offense didn't play well at times last week for the entire first half. We just have to hope that they figured a couple things out. That's my hope. Question number 2 is, can Trey Edwards tote the rock and be the bell cow? Because obviously he makes up for deficiencies on that offensive line. There's no doubt. He did it last week versus Pitt, breaking tackles at the line of scrimmage.
Oh.
What were your impressions of him last week?
Oh man, I'm like he's an amazing playmaker for West Virginia, and if he can do what he did against Pitt last week, he can play a huge part in a West Virginia victory over Kansas. If West Virginia beats Kansas, Trey Edwards is going to be one of the reasons why.
He might eat that defense like a chicken nugget.
Oh yeah.
I need more chicken nugget references from you. Here's I'm going to throw this one out to you. Can West Virginia get to Jalen Daniels, who, as of right now, is top 3 in the country, and how quickly he releases the ball in under 2.5 seconds?
If they can, that's going to be a huge part in a victory for West Virginia. I mean, it can happen. It can happen. We've seen it happen before.
We have.
Yeah. I mean, because it's all you have to do, look at game film of Jalen Daniels, seeing him get pressured, and that's how you rock and roll.
I was looking at another podcast from a couple credentialed media guys from Kansas yesterday, and they were saying, like, yeah, we got sacked a couple of times by Missouri, but West Virginia's front isn't the Missouri front. That's what they said. I texted him. This is how petty I am. I figured out who they were. I invited them on the show to defend that, and they said they couldn't, which, I mean, it was not very much notice. But I said, I think you're wrong. I think the West Virginia front is good. I really do. But maybe I'm basing too much off the Pitt game. Maybe I am. Maybe it's not as good as I think it is. Maybe Zach Alley isn't worth $1.5 million. But I'm willing to bet that they are, and that he is. Now, Jalen Daniels gets the ball out, and he's really good under pressure. Like, he doesn't change much when you're hitting him as to when you're not. And a Holstein, totally different ball game, right? He does change whenever you start hitting him. So, West Virginia was able to rattle Holstein last week. Jalen Daniels a little bit tougher to rattle. We've got to hope that we can rattle Jalen Daniels. So,
even if you don't, I got a feeling you can rattle Utah's quarterback next week for sure.
I'm hoping so. I'm definitely hoping so. All right. So, what about one of the last questions I have is, can Nico Marchiol build on his efficient start and avoid mistakes against an aggressive Kansas defense? Because we all know that Nico hasn't been horrible, right? I mean, he's been good at times. Fourth quarter and overtime against Pitt was very good against a very aggressive defense. What are your thoughts on Nico Marchiol from what you've seen? Like, he's been good, he's been off at points, but Do you think Rich Rod was too quick to pull the plug on him last week versus Pitt?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. He was too quick to pull the plug on him. I mean, it's not like it was 6 games into the season. It's 3 games into the season. But if
Right.
we do see the version of Nico against Ohio, you're in trouble against Kansas. But if you see
Correct.
the version of Nico from last week, you're going to have a great time for a long time tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Number 5 question is, obviously West Virginia's had a strong showing versus Pitt on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Can West Virginia limit Kansas explosive plays and force turnovers on the road? West Virginia has got a lot of turnovers this year. You look in the first game, I think they had a couple turnovers forced versus Robert Morris. They forced Parker Navarro to throw a couple picks. Obviously, last week, I think they forced 2 turnovers. I know they had at least 1 interception, and I think they might have got a fumble too, but 1 or 2 last week as well. If you win this game, you're going to have to force at least 1 or 2 more turnovers as well in this game. A tall order versus Jalen Daniels, who really knows what he's doing in year 6 in college football, Jackson.
You know, if you can put a ton of pressure on Jalen Daniels, that will really help. I have a great feeling this West Virginia defense can do that. And from what I've seen of them, this is exactly why I was like, I feel like it's a 1 possession win for Kansas. I don't feel like it's going to be this huge butt whipping that Vegas thinks it's going to be. I don't think Vegas has been watching a ton of West Virginia football this year. That's for sure.
Here's something that a lot of people don't know. I have heard nobody talk about this. West Virginia, 10 for 10 in the red zone this year. 100%. 100% in the red zone this year. I haven't seen any podcast bring that up yet.
They should.
None. Randy Tubman, thank you very much for that super chat. Although I need to bring this up again, and let me write this down while I'm thinking about it, because I will forget if I don't. Change super chat. So the super chats go to the company I work for and not myself. I really appreciate that and the help and everything. I have other methods if you want to just give to me, and I should probably advertise those more. I don't really like to ask for money on here. It's just something I don't really like to do because I enjoy doing it so much. But if you want to help me out personally, I will put my PayPal link in the chat. It's ROCKELPAUL, I think. I don't know. I have to go look. It's on Discord as well if you're part of the Discord chat. Anyways, I'll add it in a future episode if you guys want to help me on PayPal or wherever, Cash App or something. I've got different ways you can do that. I don't normally ask for money though, because it's just not my primary thing. I'm here to talk West Virginia football, basketball. I get paid to do this job, but certainly, not rich. So I'll take whatever help I can get. Okay. Last question.
It definitely feels like being a rich man hanging out with guys like yourself, good buddy.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that, Jackson. That's why I bring you on so much. You're one of my favorite guests, bub. All right.
Oh,
so,
thank you, man.
So West Virginia 100% in the red zone. Kansas has 26 tackles for loss. So, obviously to be able to score in the red zone, you've got to be ahead of the schedule and ahead of the chains. So that's going to be another thing to look at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
oh yeah.
Let's go to break. We'll come back. Me and Jackson will go around college football and look around.
I hope there's a yummy ad because I'm hungry.
We'll see. We'll be right back. This episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by our friends over at Mazda. This episode is brought to you by Mazda's moving the game forward for those who believe it's not about just playing the game. It's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. After all, they move crowds, they move culture, and they keep moving the game forward. When you follow the moves that move you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda vehicle. Do it today with Mazda, where you can move and be moved. And of course, our friends over at Wayfair want to say hello with the weather's cooling down. The days are getting shorter. And look, that has me wanting to make my home feel a little cozier. Maybe some hot chocolate with some marshmallows in it. When it comes to cozifying your spaces this fall, Wayfair is the place to go, as it has everything you need to set the mood for the season, whether it's comfy recliners, warm bedding, autumn decor, and even espresso machines you can make your favorite lattes at home with. The delivery was actually really fast, free, hassle-free. It makes a huge difference when you're refreshing your home. It's the perfect time to set up your home for fall so you can enjoy cozy nights with family and friends. Cozify your space with Wayfair's curated collection of easy, affordable fall spaces and updates. From comfy recliners to cozy bedding and autumn decor, you'll find it all way for less at wayfair.com. That's WAYFAIR.com. And today at Wayfair, every style, every home. Hey, segment 2. Let's crack open this do as Jackson reads us some games from around college football on the 3:30 slate.
Oh man, so we've got a wild slate today. We've got North Carolina, Central Florida, the battle of Bill Belichick and Scott Frost. And of course, we've got the Civil War between Oregon State at 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Big Ten Network. I personally like to call the Civil War the Gravity Falls Bowl between Oregon and Oregon State. But Auburn, Oklahoma, the Jackson Arnold Bowl, where Sean McDonough is calling that game. And let's just say he'll throw out his puberty voice once or twice on that game.
His puberty voice. That's pretty funny, dude. All right, let's stop there really quick. Comments on the first couple games. Auburn, Oklahoma, really interesting matchup because you've got Jackson Arnold going back to Oklahoma to face his old team. Obviously, my boss, Zach Blackerby, is an Auburn guy. He hosts Locked on Auburn. He's an incredible host. Really, really, I mean, he's got a huge following over there. Yeah. Number one in the company every year, every single month, right? So even over Locked on Big 12 on some stuff. So, he's an incredible host. Loves his Auburn, man. Obviously Oklahoma's favored today to win that game. I would probably pick Oklahoma to win this, but my heart's pulling for Auburn because I want to see Zach happy. So that is a game I think is going to be a good game. Well, Jackson Arnold's got a lot to prove going back to Norman Jackson.
Oh, no doubt about it. He does. But I feel like John Mateer is just going to smack that Auburn defense.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this isn't Baylor, right? This is Oklahoma. And Oklahoma's metrics, when you look at offensive metrics, are really good, but their defensive metrics are incredible. They've actually taken a step up from last year when Zach Alley was their guy. But, I mean, fairly, they took a step up from the year before that when Zach Alley took over from Venables. So he's just building on what they did last year. So it'll be interesting to see that matchup for sure. Oregon State and Oregon, I mean, will that game be 60-0 at halftime? It's got to be. I'll predict
it's going to be scary.
I'll predict it'll be at least 40s or 50s by halftime, on Oregon's side.
I feel like I'm going to be watching Robert De Niro spanking Leonardo DiCaprio from Killers of the Flower Moon when I'm watching Oregon State.
Oregon might be the best team in the country.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt about it.
I mean, they've been the most impressive team so far. So it'll be interesting. I mean, what they did to Oklahoma State, which now we realize wasn't that much of a fluke.
Oh, Oklahoma State lost all their dignity.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Mike Gundy's probably done, which, sucks because I think it's just this era of football, ain't for him. We'll see. They had as much money as anybody else to spend, and it looks like they just missed on a bunch of different people. All right, so what was the other game you mentioned? UCF, North Carolina.
Yeah,
this is an interesting game. Obviously, the quarterback matchup in here is a really interesting matchup. Obviously, I'm a big Gio Lopez guy. I think he's a good player. Wanted West Virginia to get him out of the portal badly. I really did. UCF's coming off a huge win, 68-7 over North Carolina A&T. Taven Jackson's another guy that can really, really go. Jaden Nixon, a really good receiver for them. North Carolina, It feels like it's getting better week after week after that first loss of the season versus TCU, which I think it turns out, Jackson, TCU's a pretty good team.
Oh, yeah.
I still think I'm going to go with UCF here. I just think something about I don't know. I feel like North Carolina got exposed a little bit against
Oh, yeah.
TCU, and I'm a Big 12 guy, so I'm going to go UCF.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I think Bill Belichick was just going someplace because he was that sick of staying inside a lot. I mean, I don't blame him. I would get tired of staying inside too.
It was a
But I
big
mean,
payday for him too, you know.
I mean, I'm surprised he didn't try to do a podcast with Nick Saban. To tell you the truth, I mean,
What a that would be the true GOATs podcast. Like literally, what would be the odds that the two greatest ever would be living during an age when you can do podcasting?
oh yeah,
You
and
know?
just get.
Can you
those
imagine
two.
Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler doing a podcast together? And
Oh man, it'd be
yeah.
fun. Just imagine both of them going on like the Joe Rogan experience, and Joe Rogan just be like, oh man, Jamie, can you pull that up?
Yeah.
Jamie. Yeah.
Hey, you want to hit this? You want to hit this? Yeah.
Absolutely. So I mean, like Tulane, Ole Miss, that's going to be a great one right there.
Yeah.
And
What
Michigan,
else we got
Nebraska,
cooking?
that's
Michigan,
going to be
Nebraska.
fun. Oh man,
I saw a crazy meme yesterday. I mean, it was the craziest meme I've ever seen. I can't say what it was on here because it was that bad, but it had to do with the corn cob, and Michigan State fans were making fun of Michigan State fans who were rooting for Nebraska.
Oh wow,
saying that they like the corn cob a little bit too much.
And if Nebraska wins today against Michigan, they will end the 28-game losing streak against ranked opponents. And for those that have watched Matt,
it's your best time to do it.
Oh yeah, the third year of the Matt Rule era is always the best year. Especially everybody that's seen so at Temple. They've seen so at Baylor. I believe they're going to see so at Nebraska. Shout out to your boys at Locked on Nebraska with Connor Halper and Mitch Sherman.
The brain, Jackson Johnson. What other games we got on the slate, buddy? Any more?
Oh man, we got several more. Purdue,
any other
Notre
big ones?
Dame.
I mean, we don't need to go into.
Oh, no worries, man. Purdue, Notre Dame, Florida, Miami, South Carolina, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana.
Ooh.
The Apple Cup on CBS between Washington State.
Arizona State. Let's do Illinois and Indiana. Did I hear you mention that?
Uh-huh. Correctamundo.
Oh, man, what a game this is going to be. Man, what do you do here?
College game day should have gone there. Like, I know my buddy Jeffrey had only taught sports, has not been too happy that Illinois, Indiana is not being respected. But I'm just like, me personally, I don't care if college game day is going to place. Like, if college game day goes to, but I mean, like Illinois and Indiana, that benefits more for them. Whereas, like a Tennessee or a Georgia or an Alabama, you're supposed to look at as another day at the Ponderosa.
Right.
Like,
I mean, Indiana's, a really good football team. They've got Mendoza. They've got Cooper at receiver, who looked really good last week with over 200 yards receiving. But it feels like this Illinois team is just another step better than what they even were last year. I think Brett Bielema may be one of the most, if not the most underrated coaches in America. Honestly, I mean, what he's done, he should have never been kicked out of Wisconsin. Honestly, I don't remember exactly why that thing ended, but I remember I wasn't a big fan.
Well, he did leave Wisconsin for like Arkansas, but like Arkansas,
that's what it was.
Yeah, Arkansas threw him out on Black Friday, like after that loss to Missouri, but which I think was pretty dumb. Which they definitely wanted Brett Bielema back after they were getting smacked by Western Kentucky, with Chad Morris as their head coach.
I remember that now. Obviously, I'm a big Luke Altmaier guy. I think he's a great dual threat quarterback. I'm going to pick Illinois to win this game, but my heart's going to be with Indiana because I'm obviously. I mean, it's all about West Virginia connections around here,
Oh man, so. I know Iowa. They're going to have to pull for Indiana to beat Illinois because if Indiana beats Illinois tonight, then that can help Iowa in the playoff standings if they beat Indiana.
Let's go to break. We'll come back and we'll finish up talking about the West Virginia game today, and few final thoughts on today's college football slate. Does Pitt play today?
I think they got
They
bye week.
should.
Next week they're playing. Well, yeah, I know they're playing Louisville next week.
They play them next week. Okay. I've seen something about that. All right, let's go to break. We'll be right back. We'll finish up some thoughts on the West Virginia game with Jackson Johnson. We'll be right back. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by Square College. That's right. There are certain businesses that truly make the neighborhood feel like home, whether it's the local sports bar and game days packed with pizza, the coffee shop that knows your order by heart, or the corner deli that's been serving your community for decades. These are the places that bring people together. When neighborhood businesses thrive, the whole neighborhood thrives. It's the kind of place where you walk in and everyone knows your name, kind of like Cheers. Staff are like family. They've been serving the community for years. Square is a proud partner of more than 4 million neighborhood businesses around the world. You can go to square.com/go/lockedoncollege to learn more. But before you do, go support your favorite neighborhood spot. You'll be happy you did. And do it today with Square. See you in the neighborhood. See you at the movies. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia always going to be brought to you by DoorDash. It's almost the weekend, and it is actually the weekend. This is yesterday's read, of course. Time to look back and crown this week's MVP, Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash streaks, saving more every time you order, these players delivered when it mattered most. Let's break it down. For West Virginia, Grayson Barnes delivered in a big way. He had a fourth quarter touchdown that took us to overtime, another big fourth quarter catch. And when the pressure was on, Grayson Barnes came through, no hesitation, no delay. And if you've been watching week after week, this performance wasn't a fluke. Grayson Barnes is on a streak. And just like Grayson Barnes delivered for West Virginia, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays with DoorDash streaks. You even save every Saturday you order. So stack it up all season, and you can save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep the streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash, where the terms apply. Promo code through 11/18. And we are back here with Jackson Johnson. We finally got you a couple food ones in there.
There we go. Now I'm really hungry.
Tell everybody where they can find you, my dude.
Well, they can find me at Jackson Johnson 979 on YouTube. And of course, they can find me on Alabama at the Voice College Football, where Coach Smoot Jeffrey and I will be having a special show on Monday with Matt Green and Bo Underwood from Georgia at the Voice College Football. We'll be having a special show for Alabama, Georgia. We don't know what we're calling it yet, but that's why you like, comment, subscribe to Alabama at the Voice College Football. And like, comment, subscribe to Jackson Johnson 979, where I've got some upcoming episodes of the Jacksonian coming your way. And for more updates, what I've got going on Alabama, the Voice College Football, or the Jacksonian, check me out on JacksonVOCFB on @/Twitter and on Instagram and Threads at Jackson Johnson 543908.
All right, appreciate that, man. All right, so final thoughts on the West Virginia game, Jackson. I think you picked Kansas earlier in the week. Mm-hmm. Have you changed your mind on that pick yet?
I'm afraid not. Sorry.
No? Okay. What reasons do you have for picking Kansas exactly? Is it the whole bye week? We're coming off the emotional game. Was that your thought process?
Bye week, coming off the emotional week, and that offense of Kansas. Like, it just feels a little too powerful. I don't know why, but it's just, I don't like messing with that Kansas offense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I certainly do think. Here's something that scares me. Lance Leopold is 4-0 off the bye in his career with Kansas, right? So that's another thing that kind of gives you a little cause to pause. Also, his first year, they were 2-10, so I don't count that because it's year 0. But ever since then, they're undefeated off the bye. If you look at Rich Rodriguez, though, he's good against coaches coming off a bye. And I think the reason for that is his teams play so hard. Like, it's just such a huge difference, guys. I mean, if you watch West Virginia football every week, it is a huge difference from what Neil was putting out there from a how hard do they play standpoint to Rich Rod. The standard's just way different. I mean, these dudes run. They don't walk anywhere they go. Like the quarter's over with. You don't walk to the sideline. You sprint to the sideline. You still flips because the timer goes out in the fourth quarter. You run to the other part of the field. And that's why if this game is close in the fourth quarter, you have to favor West Virginia because of the conditioning part of this. I don't know if there's another team in the country that's in better shape. We'll find out. Certainly we'll find out. So, I had a couple other questions written down. I'll go ahead and bring those up before we jump out of here, Jackson. West Virginia's given up 2.6 yards per rush. That's really good. Daniel Highshaw is one of the hardest running backs in the Big 12. When you look at him, he's not the most talented guy, like as far as like Devin Neal was last year. But he is a hard-nosed James Conner type running back. He just runs really hard. So I think Daniel Highshaw is going to be a big key to this game and stopping him. And obviously Deshaun Hanukkah, the tight end for Kansas, has been transferred over from Iowa State. He's been a weapon for Jalen Daniels and crew as he gets used to these other receivers, Jackson.
Oh, man. It's going to be huge seeing what happens in this game.
Keep your eyes on that red zone scoring, man. I don't think anybody else has said this. West Virginia is 100% in the red zone this year, 10 for 10. So let's see what they can do in there if they get into the red area this upcoming game. So I'll be interested to see it. I'm picking West Virginia to win. I picked them all week. I picked West Virginia. I picked Kansas on a podcast in the beginning of the week, and throughout the week, I've just started to change my mind. I don't know if it's because, a lot of it has to do with me watching Kansas film and seeing how they played against Missouri. Like that front really got to him. So, one other thing. Kansas has scored on the opening possession a lot this year. They've scored in the first quarter a lot this year because Jim Zabrowski, the offensive coordinator, is very good. West Virginia's only allowed 3 points in the first quarter this year. So the first quarter battle is going to tell us a lot. If West Virginia can hold Kansas to, let's say, 7 points or even in the first quarter, that's more than anybody else or less than anybody else has this year. So it'll be really fun to watch this game. Thank you so much for joining, Jackson. 6 o'clock today, Eastern time. Jackson will have his eyes glued to the screen as the Mountaineers and Jayhawks play, and you won't be watching any other games, right?
I'll be watching West Virginia, Kansas, and I'll be watching a few other games. So I'll be like,
no. West Virginia only. You have to sit there and stress through every single snap with me. I'll convert you. I'll convert you to a West Virginia Mountaineers fan before it's all over with. I'll bring you on every single day until you become one.
That's all right.
I appreciate you guys for joining in with us. Just having some fun there. Let's see what happens. I'm nervous. About it. I would love to see us just win because of the next 2 games. I mean, the schedule is brutal. Let's just look at that one more time before we jump off here. I know I said we were jumping off, but look, one more time, just last final point. Ooh. If you look at West Virginia's schedule beyond today, it's freaking brutal. You've got Utah, BYU, you got UCF, then TCU, then Houston, who's been really good so far. Then you finally get a little break with Colorado, but they'll probably be good by then. Then Arizona State, then Texas Tech to end the year. Rough, man. If you don't get your wins now, when are you going to find them? I think Kansas is beatable. Utah next week's going to be really tough. BYU, beatable, but really tough. Defensive battle probably. Then UCF, I think you can win that game. So you're talking, if you don't win today, let's say, you're probably not going to be favored to win next week, obviously. The week after that, you're not going to be favored to win. You're going to be favored versus UCF probably. TCU, you won't be favored. Houston could be a toss-up, but if they continue the way they're going, probably won't be favored there either. Colorado, you should be favored over. And then Arizona and Texas Tech, you won't be favored over. So you're talking about 2 more wins the rest of the year that you'll be favored in. that you won't be an underdog in, right? So if you don't get a win today and get your third win, where are you going to get to bowl eligibility? So because I don't think any of us have any delusions that this West Virginia team is a Big 12 championship contender yet. They've got work to do to prove that. I think Pittsburgh is a very good football team. I don't know if we exposed them or if we're just better than I think. Ohio, sticking with Ohio State for 3 quarters gives me a lot of hope. But I just still want to see, if we have a big win today, Jackson, I think a lot of people's minds will change on the Mountaineers going forward.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about that, man. There is no
We want to change their minds. Let's go.
Change their
Let's
minds.
go, boys. All right. What do you say, bub? We'll talk to you guys after the game. We'll have a live post game. Well, I will. I don't know if Jackson will be here, but I'll have a live post game after the West Virginia game. And we're going to react, win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. We'll be here to talk about it right after the game. Probably be setting it up probably 5 or 10 minutes before the game even goes off, unless it's close like last week. So just be keeping your eyes on that, y'all, and we'll see you after that. Thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen. We're out.